All right, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. Trump was just subpoenaed by the January, that's what we'll say, that number that we can't say, committee, and just in time, perfect timing right before the midterms. Of course, Alex Jones, perfect timing, $1 billion fine right prior to the midterms. And I've got a prediction that Elon Musk, after successfully purchasing Twitter, will reactivate Donald Trump's account after the midterms, but prior to the selection. Because again, this is all about divide and conquer. Hegelian dialectic, create as much turmoil and chaos in the United States as possible as the ruse and red herring for collapse. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you've got to blame the economic, financial collapse, hyperinflation on something. And it's certainly not going to be the politicians in Washington, D.C. or the war hawks that are now a part of the Democratic Party pushing for war and that are saying things like Joe Biden just did, that we could be entering Armageddon and using biblical language like that, or that we will be in World War III, according to them, and then backtracking later today and saying that Vladimir Putin could just simply leave Ukraine and that would be cool too. Also, Saudi Arabia confirmed today that they were being pressured by the Biden administration and White House not to cut oil production ahead of the midterms, politicizing the elections. Many would call that election meddling, just right there. The fact that if the accusations are truthful and Saudi Arabia is being truthful, which I would assume that they are, and King Salman, as well as the oil money over there, is suggesting in a formal statement today that Biden was really pleading with them not to cut oil production prior to the midterms. So attempting to politicize, again, oil and price stability. But I thought that the president and the Democrats were supposed to be like, you know, agnostic, doing what they can for the American people and helping with unemployment and maintaining quote unquote price stability, which are the two things and measures that the central bank here and the Federal Reserve is supposed to be doing. So again, guys, market's pumping today because the market is calling the bluff of the central bank. They know that the central bank's policies are going to backfire and that if anything, they're going to start cutting interest rates into this storm, not hiking them. So get out of cash, allocate your money, buy gold, buy silver, buy island project, create your cash flows, and also understand that this is an attempt, ladies and gentlemen. They want to bring you down into this negative energy. They want you depressed. They want you living in fear. They want you anxious so they can take over. I mean, this is just basically takeover 101. This is what you do. You make people feel hopeless. You make them feel helpless. You tell them not to leave their house and all these other things that they told the American public and many people around the world. And now are later admitting that, yeah, they didn't have all the information at the time. Things we can't talk about, where they're admitting that, yeah, they didn't really know what they were talking about, which I told you was the case before. So again, anyone with a critical mind, anyone that's smart, anyone that is just honestly thinking for themselves, already knew all this crap years ago. It's the rest of everybody that somehow thinks that this is okay and the government's out to save you and looking out for your best interests. Well, if you believe that, the United States of America never would have been founded, because, of course, we established the country on mistrust of not just banks, but also a king, and unilateral centralized power of dictates by King George, who would decide, you know, things like who could have a bank account. And now we're seeing the same thing with social credit scores and Kanye West, who's a billionaire, having his account closed down at the too big to fail JP Morgan Chase bailout bank and only given like less than 30 days to move all of his funds. Now, if they can call a subpoena for Trump, raid his house, his personal residence, possibly indict him, and then in addition to that, close down a billionaire's bank account, not just Trump, But also Kanye West, or Ye, I guess is his name. His name is called. Formerly Kanye West. Imagine what they can do to you. So, again, guys, this is a clown show. Expect it. And also notice the hyper pump. Did you buy the dip today? You should have. You should have bought the Bitcoin dip. Anyways, guys, I'm Christopher Greene. I love you. God bless. Jesus Christ is King. And I'll talk to all of you very, very soon.